Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our platforms. Well, top story's got to be Trump's arraignment, right? He is scheduled to appear in Washington, D.C. Relative to the indictment, and we know that the judge, he'll plead not guilty, of course. We're going to see for the first time this very Democrat woke Obama judge who has thrown the sink at every one of the January 6th, quote-unquote, insurrectionists. Tucker Carlson, Devin Archer went on his, did an interview with Tucker, and bottom line is, he says there was no question that Joe Biden knew what was going on. He also brought up the idea of the letter. You see the letter, we posted it. Joe Biden sent him a nice thank you letter in 2011 saying, thank you for being Hunter's buddy and friend. I can definitively say at particular dinners or meetings, he knew they were business associates. All right, House Oversight. House Oversight and Ways and Means Committee has issued a timeline. I'm going to use it, but they show the entire timeline, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, you know what? When 2 + 2 = 4, it works, right? I mean, everything relating to Burisma, this fits together like a perfect puzzle or like a glove. The Wagner Group, you know, the thugs from Russia, they're moving into Central Africa to help out an African dictator with his election. Here we go, man. Africa, you know, when you really think about it, how much of an army does it take to cause trouble in Africa? Probably not much. FBI lawyer told the whistleblowers to shut the hell up and not talk to the Oversight Committee. You know, it's unbelievable what we have going on here. Joe Biden and good old Hunter Biden, relative to China, you know, there's absolutely no question whatsoever that they used this influence with these communists. And it's truly amazing when you think about our number one enemy is, in fact, China. The sheriff in Fulton County says that if good old Donald Trump's indicted, we know he will be, that he will have to be fingerprinted, mugshot, just like everyone else, blah, 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 blah. Of course, another woke sheriff. Of course he's going to, do it the way he wants. That's just, it's that simple. It's that simple. There's a sick professor who has been caught up in some nice sexual deviancy. It's like it never stops, does it? Ever. All right, reveal your source. This is big news. She's no longer at Fox News, but Hentridge is being told by a judge to cough up her source on an issue relative to China and the FBI. This professor that she was saying was connected to communists, and that professor has sued. It'll be interesting. Will Hentridge go to jail or cough up the source? Bill O'Reilly says he thinks Trump will take some kind of a deal like misdemeanors on these charges. I totally disagree with Bill O'Reilly. Bill Barr's a scumbag. Bill Barr says, well, these charges are really, really, really strong. What's nobody talking about, Bill Barr? His handling of that 1023 form. I am. Wall Street Journal says Donald Trump should have resigned in disgrace, blah, blah, blah. The Wall Street Journal, they're not saying Joe Biden ought to resign, but they're saying that Donald Trump should have resigned. Remember, owned by Murdoch. Junior is letting it rip relative to the unfair treatment of his father compared to the Bidens. I'm sure when he comes to Patriot State Freedom Fest, he'll be letting it rip too. The Dems now prefer Kamala over Joe. I agree with what Gutfeld says. I got to give credit where it's due. I always do. Gutfeld says that this isn't about Trump running against Biden or ever, that it is a, he calls it the machine. I call it a criminal enterprise. See, they're all in it together. See, there's no like Joe Biden. There's no Kamala Harris. The apparatus of the Clintons, Obamas, Bidens, the whole collective group of them is like a brain trust. I think they probably got like the mafia, like a board of directors. Schumer's got to be on it, Pelosi. They'll decide collectively who the nominee will be. Trump has been asked to speak at the California Republican Party dinner. That's a big deal. There's a lot of, just think how good he looks in Texas, California, New York. See, in the general election, that's where you win it, where the same thing applies to primaries. Trudeau announced, the Canadian Prime Minister announced that he's getting divorced. Mr. Perfect. Couldn't keep his wife happy. There was an offer to fill up 6 million barrels of oil, resupply our strategic petroleum reserve. Joe Biden says no. Mike Pence is calling Trump's lawyers a bunch of crackpots. Should have kept quiet. Rudy Giuliani feels really bad at what's going on. Proof that unlike what the media said, Rudy never turned on Donald Trump. Joe Biden says that his headquarters for his campaign is going to be in Wilmington, Delaware. His home. Why? Because that's where he can sleep the most. And then we got crooked Hillary. Never prosecuted at all. Wait a minute. Cheating an election? The entire Russian hoax originated Hillary. No prosecution. 57% of the Cubans say they want to leave the country. Wow. But remember, Cuba's a bastion of good communism. Joe thanks Archer. In that letter, we've already posted the letter, already talked about it. Mass immigration is a real problem according to Republican primary voters. And guess who's the best person with a track record on that? Obviously, Donald Trump. The brace that's used on AR-15s and whatnot, the Fifth Circuit says they think it's constitutional. I think it is too. Joe Biden's funding his campaign through some unknown, incredibly rich cash donations through a PAC. I wonder if any of it comes from Ukraine or China or Romania. Vince McMahon had a search warrant served on him and issued. Good old Vince. Let's hope he's okay. What else do I have here? Trump had dinner with the top 2 Fox News executives about his participation in debate. Apparently, it took 2 hours. Of course, they want Trump to be at the debate. The ratings will be different whether he is or not. Walmart makes the most money, the biggest corporation in the world. Of course, you know who the other ones are. John Lauro is going to ask the court to move the D.C. case to West Virginia. There's going to be a lot of motions to recuse that judge, motion for change of venues. Motions for change of venue rarely are granted. This judge isn't going to grant it. China busted in our country with a little drug manufacturing facility. Can you imagine what China's really got going on in this country? Unbelievable. Hunter Biden was living in Venice Beach, $4.5 million place. He trashed it, didn't pay the rent, and trashed it. Hunter Biden has got the character of a scumbag. Scumbag might be too good. Donald Trump selling $47 T-shirts off his January 6th indictment. Carrie Lake says everybody ought to drop out and support Trump. I agree. Loretta Lynch is going to be the special investigator of the Northwest football hazing incident. And it made me realize, oh my God, if we forgot about Loretta Lynch, how corrupt she was, Obama's last attorney general, the tarmac meeting. FBI, they finally did something good, arrested a whole bunch of human and child traffickers. Good for you, FBI. Boys and girls, you ready for this? High school boys are moving conservative. High school girls moving left. Imagine that. I'm just glad we at least got the boys. All right, Iowa. Trump is up 30 points on his next closest person in Iowa. And last but not least, you can't make it up, folks. That Fitch rating drop from AAA plus to just AAA, you got it. The Biden administration has blamed it on Trump already. This is a Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope you enjoyed. 39 topics covered that quick.